There is my chassis, and there's my rear suspension. Okay, so just added products for those. So then I want to add some skeletal geometry from my master skeleton, and I want to link some parameters into those different things. So inside my subassembly here, I can start adding parts. So I just do a part here. And whenever I do a part inside of this subassembly or inside of the master assembly file, it's going to throw me this little error, and it's going to ask if I want to define the origin point of the component as the point of the new origin, or if I want to have the common, I guess, data coordinate system with the master assembly. So I'm going to click no.
It didn't ask me that. Do you know what like the default would be or something?
I'm not sure what the default is, to be honest. I'd have to take a look at it. If I click no, though, it should have the same origin here for this specific part as it does for the overall assembly. So they both have the same origin. If I would have clicked yes, it would have asked me to find a new origin, so I would have clicked somewhere, and then I would have multiple sets of planes in different spots. So we're just going to keep it nice and simple. Have the same origin for everything.
Would it have created like an all-new set of the X, Y, Z planes?
Yep, for that specific part. And so it can get really messy because then you could have multiple origins for all of the parts in your assembly, and you might start losing track of which origin refers to which part. So if you just keep them all the same, then you can define that as kind of like your nose cone of your plane, if you will. Everything is relative to that point. So anyway, so we've got our part there. We can come in here, and we can now project geometry from the skeleton into the part. So to do that, it's just the same thing as you do as a regular projection. And I think I need to create a sketch first. So we'll create a sketch on this plane. Nope, wrong plane. Create a sketch on this plane. There we go. And we'll do a projection. I think I need to move some of these out here. So that's the mirror translate. Project 3D elements. Show us the one I want. So my menus here, make sure I've got all the menus turned on. I'm not seeing the toolbar, so I will go to my commands list and we'll see if we can find a projection. Project point, creates points by projecting points onto an element. Okay, I think that's the one I want. So it's that one right there. So if I click
Project
on
3D silhouette edges, is that what you did?
Yeah. And it won't let me grab it right away, but I think if I remember, I go to Tools, Options, go to Mechanical Design, and go to, let's see, where is it? It's Sketcher. It might let me do it, I'm not sure. Take a look here.
What did you change?
I think it's just project 3D elements,
Where?
not silhouette edges.
Yeah. Let's try that one. Yep, there we go.
What did
Thanks.
you change? You went to.
So it was project 3D elements. You don't need to change that to option.
Oh.
It's just project 3D elements. So if you click on that, whatever you select will turn kind of a yellow color. And so the thing that is yellow is now the geometry in that individual part. So now there's a direct link there. So if I hop out here, if I go open up my part body, there's a sketch there, and there's a line that's drawn there. And so if I update something in my product, like the width, for example, we'll change that to 500. Press OK. That line just shifted 500 units. So if I come back here into the sketch, The yellow line is now 500. So I have linked geometry from my master skeleton down to the subassembly file, okay? So I can now constrain anything I need in my subassembly to that skeleton, and then all I have to do is update the skeleton, and it will update everything below it, okay? There's one thing that you guys do need to be aware of, and that is if I'm inside of a part, like say I put a part in product 3, and I try to project geometry, but I grab geometry from part 2 instead of the product, that will cause issues. So you should only link from the top down. You should never link across. So I should never link something from a subassembly to a subassembly. I should never link something from a part to a part. I should never link something from a part to a subassembly. I should never do anything like that. I should only go from the top down. And that's why it's called top down.
Why not from a why not a part Q? So say what you should do instead.
Okay, I'll say what I should do. So if I want to link any geometry, I can go from my master skeleton to either a subassembly or a part. And if I want to link geometry from a subassembly to another subassembly below that, I can.
So if I understood what you're saying, then and this makes sense to me, that you only want the lower products and parts to be driven by those, and never
above
the
it.
higher parts to be driven by the lower.
Exactly, exactly. So just to clarify what he said, and so that I can record it here on the Tanberg, you guys want to make sure that all of the links that you're creating are driven by the part above it in the tree. Okay, so anything in this product here should always be linked down to these other products, but I should never try and link something from this part to like this product. Okay, I should only be able to go from the product above it down to the part that's inside that. Okay, the reason you do that is if you change something in one subassembly but not at the skeleton level, the change will happen, but it won't be reflected in anything on the other segments because it can't go across. It can only go up and down this tree. Okay? So you will create a subassembly. You can create parts and link geometry. And then once you've created the geometry, you can go ahead and start making sure that you make sure that it's constrained appropriately. This one should already be constrained because it was constrained in the skeleton above it. And so you should just be able to start modeling once you've got this set up. So I can start putting tire parts in. I can start putting, you know, the spring. I can put in the suspension. I can put in the shock towers. I can put in my screws, all that stuff. So once this assembly thing's all set up, then you're good to go.
I have a question when it comes to actually modeling individual parts. The fact that they're all linked together, is that going to be an issue when we're modeling different things?
What do you mean?
Like
check
so
out.
it's all out of one product,
Uh-huh.
and we're all going to be working on different parts. And so is the last person to save it going to mess up the product?
Yes. But there's a way to get around it.
Okay.
Okay. So if I did file save as, save all, push yes, we're all going to go to that folder. Maybe let's just do file save. Yes. Yes. My product. Let's see if we can save that. Okay, I think everything's saved. So if I go up to Window, I've only got one product. I've only got one part open. I just have the test1.cat product, which is this product file right here. Okay.
Do you
As
have the
long as-
product selected when you saved?
Yeah.
Because I have a funny little error, maybe you know what I mean. It says impossible to save pointed documents already existing on disk.
I'm not sure what that one is. It sounds to me like you've already got a part saved and it's trying to save over it with the same name. I'm not sure. I'd have to take a look at it.
Okay.
But real quick, I can take a look at that in a sec. So once you guys get your skeleton all set up, people can open the sub-assembly products as long as you're not in it. So as long as these are all closed, like right now I'm only in the master skeleton product assembly file. So if I get this all set up, I can close everything and just have the master assembly open. And then your teammates can come in and open product 2, another teammate can open product 3, and another teammate can open product 7. Just make sure that only one person is in that part file at a time, because you're right. 2 people can open up those same parts, especially if you're sharing them on Team Center or Dropbox. And if you both have them open at the same time, someone might save something while they're working, and then they'll quit and leave. And then the person who's still working on their copy will make some changes. They won't even see the changes that were saved because they opened it at a different time. And then when they save it, it writes what they've saved and will erase everything that the other user saved or did. And so if you guys have multiple teammates open in the same part, you could be losing work without realizing it. So what I would recommend to you guys to avoid that problem is whenever you're going to start modeling something, hop on Skype, make sure none of your teammates are on Skype, and you should be able to go. If there is a teammate on Skype, ping them or call them or something and say, hey, I need to get into this sub-assembly. Are you in it? And if they say yes, you say, okay, well, I just need to make these few changes. Maybe you could do it for me or something along those lines. Or you can say, let me know when you're done and I'll just work on this different thing that I need to do. And when you're done, I can hop into that part and make my changes.
But as long as we're in separate sub-assemblies, like us, we've got 5 different sub-assemblies. As long as we stay within our own sub-assemblies, we're not gonna mess with
Yeah, you'll never have conflicts. So that's how you avoid that problem.
And so to do that, you have to actually go file open in that particular
Yeah,
file.
so if I want to open up this product too instead, if I do like file close, I don't have anything open right now. I can do file open, and I can come into the folder, and I don't think any of mine saved, unfortunately.
Well, you probably saved that in a weird spot. But.
Yeah, I think I saved it in a different spot. Oh, there it is right there, test. So there's all the products. I can open up Cat 2 product, and it won't show the master skeleton, it'll just show the product and all the, I guess this is a sub-assembly now, and it'll show all the parts below it.
Will you not be able to select the parameters above when you just open the product under?
You won't, yeah, so, but the parameters that you've linked already down, so like if you projected any geometry or anything like that, those will still be kept. So you'll be able to access them.
All of that while you have
so you'll need to do the setup first. Once it's set up, then you can hop in here and just start doing your modeling and things like that.
So if you realize,
if you realize there's something you forgot,
you have to go all the way back to the main assembly
and add it
and carry it down.
And then so make sure that no one's in the master assembly file when you carry that down. But you can make changes intermittently throughout the entire modeling process.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, the simpler you keep your skeletons, the better. Okay. But you need to define enough parameters to show all of the relationships. Okay. So that might be a little bit ambiguous because you guys are like, I don't know what I need. I don't know what I need to include. I don't know how many geometries I should include. Think about it in terms of what you need to connect. So at the master assemblies level, break it into sub-assemblies. You need some way to show how those sub-assemblies are going to connect. If you've got 4 sub-assemblies, you should at minimum have 4 things of geometry showing where those will connect. Okay? You can have more, but the simpler it is, the easier it is for you to make changes. Okay? As far as testing goes. Okay? If you're in a sub-assembly and you've got 10 parts, you need 10 ways of showing how those parts are going to connect. So you'll need 10 like points, lines, planes, arcs, splines, whatever you guys want to use. Okay? You can have more than that, but you need to have a minimum of that many. So that's kind of my hint as to how to go about figuring out what you need inside of these things. Okay? So that's pretty much taught down in a nutshell. We've got an hour left, so I'll let you guys kind of start doing the in-class exercise. For those on the NTU team, I'm going to have you guys just delete a couple of parts from the assembly that I gave you, and I'm going to have you guys create new parts and see if you guys can get those to kind of morph. Okay?
So we don't need to.
For you guys, I'm going to have you remove 5 parts from it.
So basically the whole thing.
Basically the whole thing. And we're going to have you guys rebuild it. Okay?
What about like all the